Out of all the businesses we own in GTA 5, have you noticed all of the little things that change as you play the game? Well, today we're going to go over a bunch of these changes and see how well you pay attention within your own businesses. Starting off with the most obvious changes, within the office, many players notice that the money and items appear on the floor, which appear once you complete more CEO work, excluding import-export, and it caps somewhere around $20 million of profit. Within the safe behind your desk, you'll notice that it holds both cash and casino chips. To fill the cash, you'll need 1 million in your bank account, which is fairly easy, but to fill up the chips, you'll need 12 million chips in the casino, which might take a little longer. The last thing within the office is a small SecuroServe statue that'll be sitting on your desk, and this will change color based on how many source missions you've completed. Once you've completed 50 missions, you'll receive the black statue. After 100, it'll turn crystal. At 250 missions, it'll turn silver. And finally, it'll turn gold once you complete 500 source missions. Transitioning over to the import-export vehicle warehouses, after a certain amount of time, any vehicles that are sitting within the warehouse will receive a car cover. This is to help the game's memory and performance, as having so many car models in the same place was quite demanding on old consoles. One thing many people may not have noticed is that there are only 7 prop models for covered vehicles, and they match the shape of the Turismo, the Coquette Classic, the Tampa, the Roosevelt, the first generation Baller, the Omnis, and finally the Z-Type, meaning that just because the car you have may not be one of these 7, it will receive one of these 7 prop models in its place. If you've used a facility, you've probably noticed many things change based on various aspects. Starting off in the garage area where the workshop is, if you own the facility's specific vehicles including the Avenger, Thruster, Conjolly, Chernobog, or the RCV, and you've destroyed these vehicles at least 9 times, you'll start to notice pieces of the vehicles themselves spawning in the workshop area with the mechanic. This is a fun little detail of the different damages the vehicle would have sustained, given when it was destroyed. However, these aren't the only changes that can be seen within this business. If you complete Act 1 of the Doomsday Heist, you'll see an IAA Valor plaque that spawns on the front desk. When you complete Act 2, you'll get a full-size model of a sea mine and a miniature model of the submarine in the lobby. And finally, upon completing Act 3 of the Doomsday Heist, you'll receive a large eagle statue just to the right of the orbital cannon, which is identical to the one outside of the FIB and IAA buildings. You'll also notice a small model of the thruster, satellite, and of the rocket on the desk within the lounge. It's interesting to know that if you've played all of these heists with a friend but don't own a facility, these items will appear in your facility if you choose to buy one. Heading down to the nightclub, many people know that if you get extremely drunk from the building, certain options in the interaction menu and using champagne at the bar will become inaccessible because you are too drunk. Similarly, if you're pouring your own drinks at the self-serve bar up in the office, you'll notice the animation gets sloppier as you get more drunk. If you've purchased the security upgrade, which many people don't really bother with, you'll receive both security cameras at your desk as well as a hidden gun locker behind Tony's desk, which I haven't seen many people talk about when referring to this business. Similar to the office, there are also 3 trophies that can spawn in your desk. The number 1 nightclub trophy is awarded for keeping your popularity over 90%, starting at 2.4 hours, then 5.6 hours, and then finally you get gold at 11.2 hours. The Greatest Dancer trophy is awarded for dancing to the DJ for a set amount of time, and you'll get bronze for having it there for over 1 hour, silver for 3 hours, and if you keep it there for 6 hours, it'll turn gold. I don't know who's doing this, but hats off to you. The final trophy here has to do with business battles, so if you want bronze, you'll have to win 3 business battles, 10 for silver, and 20 for gold. This is called the Battler trophy. Now there are other trophies many people fail to mention, some inside the safe and one on top of the desk, which are related to each cargo type. In order to get them, you'll have to sell a full shipment of each cargo type in the safe. You'll get the Infinite Rage figurine for cocaine, crinkle bills for counterfeit cash, passports for document forgery, a bag of the blue stuff, if you know what I'm talking about, a bag of weed, a case with bullets in it for the bunker, and finally, on the desk, you'll get a wooden box representing cargo and shipments. Now last week we talked a lot about the arcade and the different rare t-shirts you can unlock just from playing the games. However, you'll also notice some physical changes within the arcade for completing those challenges. If you complete all of the Love Professor challenges, you'll receive its respective Hourglass trophy within the trophy case. The Gold Degenitron Console trophy is awarded for getting all the Platinum challenges in Monkey's Paradise, Defender of the Faith, and the Penetrator games. You can get a Gold Wheel trophy for completing all of the Race and Chase awards. The Platinum Sword is connected to the Wizard's Ruin game. The Spray Paint trophy is connected to the Street Crime Gang War Edition. The Gold Revolver requires you to complete all 3 of the main challenges in Badlands Revenge 2. The Oil Barrel trophy is awarded for completing the Invade and Persuade 2 challenges. And once you complete Space Monkeys 3, you'll get a gold banana trophy. And finally, if you manage to collect all 9 Claw Machine prize variants, which has a very slim chance of happening, you'll receive the pink plushie trophy. Though upon grabbing these different Claw Machine prizes, you'll also notice that these plushies do appear around the desk within the office and are available within the Master Penthouse as decorations. There are also 3 trophies available on the desk within the arcade for the Cubed game, Axe of Fury game, and the Camheads game, which were added later in the other games. The last trophy required from a machine is the Madame Nazar trophy, which requires you to get a specific fortune when Nazar says, "Madame Nazar has a beautiful collection and she is generous. Go see what trophy she gives you." There are only 2 trophies left to complete this trophy case, and the first requires you to purchase every single arcade game, which, if you've made it this far, you've already done. And the last trophy is kind of a given at this point, because you'll receive the Master Trophy for collecting all the other trophies within the trophy case, completing the collection. Now I'd like to go back and revisit Madame Nazar, because there's a lot of rare things that can occur when you get specific voice lines. If you get this voice line, it'll make all the wanted levels you obtain 5 stars for some time following the fortune. If Nazar says this, a mugger will approach the player within 24 in-game hours. This line will cause a Merryweather strike to strike the player within the same time frame. And if you're having a hard time with the Love Professor awards, this fortune will guarantee a true love rating for a short period of time as well. If she simply says that she sees numbers, this is a reference to the number sequence that Gertrude Braithwaite recites in Red Dead 2. And after hearing all these numbers, you can actually reach Nazar by calling her cell number. This line has the rare ability to change the game's weather and even cause it to snow within a lobby outside of the holiday season, though the chances of that happening are very slim. And lastly, this fortune will only occur if peyote plants are active and will turn the player into a random animal after the next drink of alcohol, no matter the strength. With only 3 more businesses that I'm going to cover in this video, we're going to move over to the agency, which has a wide variety of minor changes that occur while completing the contract. So let's try and keep this quick. If you complete the course mission, a golf bag will appear within the office. And if you do some of the investigation missions, different evidence photos will appear on the desk, depending on what stage you're in of the overall contract. Once you complete the nightlife leak, the club promoter's backpack will be located in front of your desk. The country club investigation will change the photo on top of the desk, as well as add the wallet of the limo driver off to the side of the desk. With the completion of the specific investigation missions, Guest List, Davis, and the Ballers, they'll each put something respectively on your desk, starting with the Ben Brooks Lawyer's car keys, the Feud baseball team bobblehead, and the Boars baseball team bobblehead. Once you complete the studio time setup, Anderson Paak's drumstick will appear on the player's desk as well. And lastly, at some point, the 3 target phones and laptop will appear within the agency's safe, so keep an eye out for those. Similarly to the awards within the office and nightclub, the gold records on the wall are a sign that you've completed different stages of the contract. Nightlife Leak will get you the record of Gospel featuring Eminem. The High Society League will get you the Scenic Route featuring Rick Ross and Anderson Paak. The South Central League will get you the gold record of Black Privilege. And once you complete studio time, you'll get the record of ETA featuring Anderson Paak, Snoop Dogg, and Busta Rhymes. Completing Don't Fuck With Dre puts the Fallen Up record on the wall. And finally, completing all the Data Leak missions puts the gold record of Diamond Mine to complete the collection. However, there are a few more things that can change within the agency. And yeah, I know it's a lot. Located on the shelf behind the desk, you can get a Merryweather hat if you assassinate all 4 drug dealers at the same time, the CEO hard hat if you make it look like the CEO died in a tragic workplace accident, the Judge golf ball and tee if you kill the judge using a golf club for the bonus, the Trolls bullet riddled laptop if you use varied methods to kill the 4 trolls, the Confounder gives you the sticky bomb if you wait for the Confounder to get into his car and then blow him up with a sticky bomb, the Popstar gives you the miniature Anis Euros for using various manners of shooting or crushing the Popstar using a truck, the Tech Entrepreneur gives you a miniature taxi for driving the taxi into the sea, and the Coil logo requires players to kill the hitmen before they arrive at the location. If you complete the short trip Seed Capital, Fired Up, and OG Kush, you'll notice an LD Organics sign, a small marijuana plant, and an LD Organics Yuga custom model on the office shelf. And finally, if you complete 50 security contracts, a trophy will appear on the desk to finish off the agency. Now, as I mentioned before, the Claw Machine plushies from the arcade will also be available as Master Penthouse decorations at the casino. But if you manage to collect all 100 action figures around the map, you'll also receive the action figure decorations to place on the shelves within the Penthouse as well. And finally, we're going to touch on some changes that appear within the Kosatka during the setups for the Cayo Perico heist. These are fairly straightforward, as once you collect a piece of equipment for the heist, it's likely going to appear somewhere within the submarine. The fingerprint cloner will be located in the captain's quarters on the desk. while the plasma cutter and suppressors will be located on the captain's quarters on the floor just across the room. The demolition charges and cutting torch can both be seen on the hall table, which feels like an interesting place to put them considering this is where you're supposed to eat. And finally, the sonar jammer will be located in the bridge, which makes sense. What other small business facts have you noticed over the years that I might have missed? Let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.